Hello and welcome back to Royalty Now, where I recreate figures from the past and put them into the modern day using Photoshop. Today's subject is Charlotte Bronte. She was an English novelist and poet and the eldest of three Bronte sisters whose novels became classics of English literature. This was an incredibly prolific writing family. The research for this process was really interesting. It kind of required some historical portrait detective work, so I had a really good time learning about her and trying to figure out kind of what she really would have looked like. So I struggled a little bit with which portrait to use here, and I'll talk about why. There are a couple of authenticated portraits from her lifetime. So this amazing source that I found is brontesisters.co.uk kind of did an analysis of the portraits that we have available for Charlotte and was talking about each one, and it was so cool. So there's only 3 undisputed portraits of Charlotte that exist. The first one, and the one that I have worked from, is an 1830s portrait of Charlotte by her brother Branwell. And this whole portrait, when you pull out from this specific detail shot, is a picture of all of the sisters. And this was said to be a most accurate likeness of her. So it's considered by people who knew her to look mostly like her, although we are kind of unsure of the skill of Branwell as an artist. The second undisputed image is a chalk sketch by George Richmond, and this was taken later in her life around 1850. Now, this portrait is authenticated to be her, but it is generally idealized. So the source that I'm reading from talks about how beauty standards were different at the time, obviously. I think we can assume most portraits of most monarchs and important people were idealized in some way. And this includes the length of the face, the nose shape was actually changed, even elongated, and they raised the height of her forehead. So you can see in the Branwell sketch, her face is a little bit heavier. She's got a slightly heavier jaw, wider face, whereas in this George Richmond sketch that's meant to be the most ideal version of Charlotte, it's a little bit of a thinner face. Everything, it's a little elongated. There's also a caricature of herself that she drew in 1843, which is very cute. And so that's like, we're not sure how much that actually represents her real appearance, but it is an undisputed likeness of her. And then finally, we have this photo of Charlotte. Well, this is actually a copy of a daguerreotype from the 1840s. And this photo is unauthenticated at this time. It was found, and it basically says Bronte sisters on it. So it's assumed that somebody labeled it purposely, knowing that this was a photo of the Bronte sisters, but it just has never been confirmed. So if you go and look at this source, the brontesisters.co.uk, there's a great comparison of the daguerreotype and the Branwell Bronte portrait, which is very interesting. I find it so cool that everyone who described her a little differently. Like, it makes me think that she was just this super enigmatic and interesting person. And she just was described as people who knew her as having peculiar eyes, kind of an indiscriminate color. Some people described them as reddish brown. Some people said they were blue. She was a small person, just very short, a dainty bird-like creature, delicate in appearance, slight in figure, and this one describes her as large gray eyes, silky brown hair, a shy, timid manner. So everyone kind of describes her as this shy, yet very interesting, and a figure who would really draw you in. And I would have loved to meet her in real life. So I've taken most of the features from the Branwell Bronte portrait, but I've added a little bit more of the deep-set eyes from the daguerreotype, as well as the cheekbones. So I really love this one, and I'm so much more interested in Charlotte after doing this research. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and make sure to follow me on Instagram at royalty_now_. And I also have bookmarks and prints of this available on my Etsy store at etsy.com/shop/royaltynow. Thank you so much for watching.